That's Max Wellman, folks, and we're back to our conversation on the Fallon Forum. I want to thank the Iowa chapter of the Sierra Club and Iowa Physicians for Social Responsibility. And I want to remind you about the Immigrant Entrepreneurs Summit. The Immigrant Entrepreneurs Summit coming up on November 9th at Drake University. Great opportunity to learn how to grow your business. $35 for an entire day of great workshops. Go to iesusa.org online and register now before it is all filled up. They had about 400 people show up last year. Okay, I also want to thank, real quick, I got to thank Tally's Restaurant Bar and Catering up in Beaverdale. Tally's is at 2712 Beaver Ave. And lunch and supper, fantastic stuff, and also a great Sunday brunch. Check them out, folks. That's Tally's Restaurant Bar and Catering. And I got to tell you, it's that time of the year when you should be thinking about having a furnace check. Leonard Tinker Heating and Cooling will do that for you. He's been a longtime supporter of this program. He's at 371-2114, 371-2114. And with me on the phone from Ames, Iowa, the central point of Iowa, is Stefan Schmidt. Stefan, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I'm in Nevada, which is my residence, my farm, where I hang out after hours.
After hours. Well, I'm glad we're at after hours.
And Nevada is the center of Iowa, so
I thought State Center was actually.
Yeah, well, they lost it to Nevada.
All right, good. Well, hey,
what's up?
You were picking on a poor U.S. Congressman named Kristi Noem. I don't understand why you have to pick on somebody so consistent with the Tea Party agenda. I mean, why South Dakota got hit really hard in that blizzard. A lot of cattle died. And you made an interesting point that I thought was worth discussing. Do you remember that point?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that, I mean, she and others are, very much tied to farm subsidies. And they think that in the case of these cattle dying, they are entitled to some kind of compensation. And yet they decline to do anything on climate change, on the shutdown, on health care. I mean, saying you want to gut the Affordable Care Act is one thing. Saying what you want to do in place of it is another. And so we have this problem where an element of Congress seems to be totally disconnected from the role the government plays in the lives of people who don't raise livestock. I don't get it. I thought you made some really good points. And again, I'd love to get your take on. I mean, since that article was written a couple days ago, well, this weekend, we've seen some progress on the shutdown. Where do you think this is going to go, Stefan?
Well, first of all, my point, I sent this letter actually to her.
Right.
And then I published it in the Des Moines Register to sort of piss off a lot of other people.
I think you succeeded, huh?
Thank you very much. My point was that at any given point in time, someone in this country needs the collective support of the common good of all of us. So, when the blizzard hits and wipes out, now it's 100,000 head of cattle.
Wow.
It's going to wipe out a lot of ranchers in South Dakota. They need us to help them get back on their feet and continue to be ranchers. But at another point in time, it may be folks who just got laid off, unemployed, veterans. To pick and choose and try to cherry pick who should be blessed with government support is essentially a cruel and bad idea because, we are a country, we're all in this together, and there ought to be a sense that this is, we're all brothers and sisters, and we all need to support each other, and I hope that point got across to her.
It did, but here's my question: is government can't be all things to all people? And my problem with some of the Tea Party perspective is they like their welfare, but they don't like it when single moms or kids or wind energy for that matter gets a little help from the government. But where do you draw the line? So 100,000 cattle die in blizzards in the upper Midwest. And the government reimburses those cattle, those ranchers to help keep them afloat. But what if say a talk show host goes belly up? Is the government going to come in and bail that talk show host out? I mean, where do they draw the line?
Yes. And your show is crucial to national stability and sanity. And
I'm so quoting you on that.
Congress, I would support, providing you with a big benefit from the federal government to keep this show on the air, because it adds a huge amount of incredibly interesting and important diversity.
Well, my producer Maddie is smiling pretty broadly right now because she thinks that means job security.
Raise, by the way,
a raise?
You haven't given her a raise. She's underpaid, and
why do you know she's underpaid? Maybe I treat her pretty good.
No, you don't, because I went on the website, I checked what she makes, and she works overtime.
I don't have that on the website, do I?
Oh, yes. I have a website, that you can log in on this. But the point is that government should be supporting a whole series of things, including research, including safety measures, including providing assistance to the poor, including helping people get out of where they are and get to a better place, including ranchers who lose their herds. And the idea of the Tea Party seems to be that, everyone should basically do it on their own, that I did this, I made this, I don't need roads, I don't need the Federal Reserve and banks and so on. And that is a completely obsolete idea, because this is a very complicated country, and we need all of the different support systems in the government that work as a system to keep us moving forward.
Let me ask you this, Stephen. The original opposition to dealing with the shutdown, to dealing with the need to raise the debt ceiling, the original opposition to that was predicated on the need to kill the Affordable Care Act. My contention is the Affordable Care Act was actually a convenient target, and the real goal is what Newt Gingrich and others stated years ago. It's to make government small enough so they could drown it in a bathtub. These folks don't like government, except when it helps them and their dead cattle, but they don't like government. They want to get rid of as much of it as possible, specifically the stuff that tends to help people that aren't like them. They don't want to touch the military budget, which is almost 2/3 of discretionary spending. But that's their real goal. The Affordable Care Act was just a tool. Their real goal, and that's why they don't care about the shutdown, because their real goal is to just mess up government.
So why do you need me on your show? You just summarized it.
Oh, well, I wanted to see if you would disagree with me, so you could.
You just want confconfirmation, yeah.
Well, I want you to tell me how wrong I was. No,
and it makes you feel good. I was on a whole bunch of different shows, and this is the last one. I'm going to have some drinks and have a nice pasta for dinner and go to bed, because my point is, this today they solved this little problem here that we're not going to probably go into default, and we're going to increase the federal budget so that we can open the government again temporarily. But this was a skirmish. No one should reach the conclusion that, okay, it's all over with now and, we can all go home. It was a skirmish. It was a battle. The Tea Party lost it. The Republicans lost it. But this is a war. At a war, you lose battles, you retreat, you reorganize. This is coming back again. We are going to have to fight this battle of how to fund the government and what should be and shouldn't be done over and over and over again, and you might as well get used to it, because the temporary solution brings all of this right back at us in January and February. And so, people need to understand that this is a struggle. It is not just some little disagreement. It is really essentially a transcendental sort of battle between the idea that government can be useful and is good and can help people, and people who feel that we should go back sort of to the 1800s.
But Congress,
I got a lot of emails, I'll tell you that, Ed, from people who said, we need to go back to our roots, back to the frontier, and so on. That was a whole different period in history. We can't go back to that.
Right. Now, Congress has been making the same mistake for a long time now, where they basically don't solve the problem. They just punt it down the road. We're going to have to deal with it, as you said, early next year. And my sense is that the general public is pretty, they're divided on who they blame, but overall, the majority of the blame goes to the Republicans in the U.S. House. What does this mean for the 2014 elections? When I was on Insiders this weekend, the Tea Party representative, Ken Crow, claimed that 2014 was going to be a bloodbath for Democrats. I'm going to suspect that you might see it a little differently.
It's hard to understand how you could reach that conclusion. It's just like 2012 was going to be a bloodbath for Democrats with Mitt Romney because they were looking at polls and at research that they liked and not looking at the stuff that was scientifically well done. And the really good polls right now are all showing that the Republicans have really taken a big hit with this and are going to have to scramble to sort of get back for 2014. On the other hand, you and I both know that a lot of the Republicans are going to get reelected because they're in safe districts, because
Right.
they've had, gerrymandered districts where, you don't have a whole lot of people who don't agree with the Republicans who have been elected. And so the Democrats, to be honest with you and your listeners who probably understand this, have really been, in many ways, AWOL. The Democrats have not mounted a very effective strategy of recruiting and training candidates, of taking on Republicans. I mean, here in Iowa, I think the Democratic Party, where is the Democratic Party? I mean, it barely exists. So the Republicans are counting on the Democrats essentially not being an admirable and threatening foe to gain re-election. And if that's the case, then then they deserve to win, because you only win if you really organize, strategize, raise money, get good candidates, support them, and launch essentially a very robust campaign against your adversary. And,
Couple quick.
Democrats aren't doing that.
Yeah, a couple quick questions, Stephen, before we wrap up the show here. I know a lot of talk shows like to end with predictions. Prediction: will Branstad win re-election?
Yes.
Over who? Which Democrat will win the primary?
Yikes. Jack. Hatch.
Hatch. All right. How about the Iowa House? Will that go back to the Democratic fold?
No.
It'll stay Republican.
Not unless they do something between now and the election to actually gear up the Democratic Party, as I just said earlier.
So,
It's non-existent.
So there needs to be
students. I have students at Iowa State who are Democrats. Nobody has ever come to them to try and train them on how to be effective, how to register people to vote, go out and raise money, and participate in the process.
Well,
the Republicans are much better at that.
I'll contact Representative Mark Smith from Marshalltown, ask him to tune into the last portion of the show and see if he'll take your advice.
I doubt it.
Stephen, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to talk with you. Keep those cards and letters coming. And I know I'm going to hear it from Maddie now. So thanks for that on the pay increase.
She needs a raise.
And I need some pasta. I'll be right over. Thanks, Stephen.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye. Folks, I want to thank you for sticking around for the second half of today's Fallon Forum. I want to thank the Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit for sponsoring this segment of our show, and remind you to go online to iesusa.org and sign up for a great all-day workshop on November 9th at Drake University. I want to thank the Fighting Burrito. They're at 13th and Locust in Des Moines and 117 Welch Ave in Ames. Had a great burrito there yesterday for lunch. Again, I love these burritos. They're custom made, and you can put whatever you want in there pretty much. Well, not entirely. Okay, I want to thank Diana's Wedding Cakes in Newton. Check out Diana's information about her business on my website, fallonforum.com. And if you have not considered making a donation to help to support this program, well, that's a mistake. You need to do that. Otherwise, I'll never be able to afford to give Maddie the pay hike that Stefan feels she deserves. And more important, I keep this show going from the support of nonprofit groups that believe in what we talk about, businesses that like what's going on, and individuals like you. Become a friend of the Fallon Forum for $30 a month. Thanks, folks. I will be back on Monday. Thanks to Maddie Kane, my producer. Yeah, you've heard that before. And thanks to Webcast One Live for providing this studio.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.